Imagine reaching the end of your life and realizing you never truly lived for yourself. The biggest regret many seniors have is not chasing their dreams, not prioritizing their health, and not spending enough time with the ones they love. But it's not too late. What if you could start today taking control, living boldly, and creating the life you've always wanted? It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start living now. If you've ever looked back at a decision and thought, I wish I had done things differently, you know how powerful regret can be. But imagine being at the later stages of life, reflecting on decades of choices, opportunities, and moments that shaped your existence. What do seniors say when they look back? What do they wish they had done differently? And most importantly, how can you avoid making the same mistakes? Today, we'll break down the 4 biggest regrets seniors commonly have, exploring why they happen, how they affect life, and what practical steps you can take today to live without regrets. This episode is all about learning from those who have walked this path before us, so we can make better choices today for a more fulfilled tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell button, and like the video because this helps me continue and make better content. So, get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee or tea, and let's get into it. Regret 1. Neglecting health until it's too late. One of the most common regrets seniors express is not prioritizing their health when they had the chance. This regret is something that resonates deeply with many, and it's heartbreaking to hear. Many wish they had made different health decisions during their earlier years. For many, health becomes something they believe they can deal with later. But the unfortunate truth is that neglecting it now can lead to permanent consequences that affect the quality of life in the future. So, why does this happen? Why do we ignore our health in the earlier stages of life? And most importantly, how can we avoid this regret? Why does this happen? When we are younger, our bodies seem to be resilient. We eat junk food, skip exercise, and engage in unhealthy habits, but we often think it doesn't matter. There's this illusion that our bodies are invincible and that we can always make changes later, even when we're already aware of some bad habits. We have other priorities, work, family, and responsibilities take center stage, pushing health to the background. With so many demands on our time and energy, health often becomes something we think we can revisit tomorrow. Additionally, many of us ignore early warning signs, thinking we have plenty of time to fix things later. A little pain here, a little fatigue there. We convince ourselves that it's not a big deal, and we put off seeking help. We live under the assumption that we can start caring for ourselves at any time, but unfortunately, this thinking often leads to waiting too long. The reality check. I once spoke to a man in his 70s who said, I never took my health seriously. I thought I could always start eating better, exercising, or quitting bad habits later. Now I have diabetes, chronic pain, and I can barely walk without help. I wish I had done things differently. This is a heartbreaking statement, but it is also an incredibly common reality for many seniors. They wish they had taken action earlier. What's important to note is that this situation is entirely preventable, but only if we take proactive steps in our younger years. Health problems often don't appear overnight. They accumulate over time. What starts as a small issue, like skipping a workout or eating too many unhealthy meals, can snowball into serious conditions that can be life-altering later on. How to avoid this regret? It's never too late to start taking care of yourself, but it's best to begin as early as possible. Here's how you can avoid the regret of neglecting your health. Treat your body like it's the only home you'll ever have, because it is. Your body is your most important asset. You may be able to replace a car, buy a new phone, or get a new house, but your body is irreplaceable. If you want to live a fulfilling, active life, you need to protect your health now while you still can. Move every day. Physical activity is essential. It doesn't matter if it's a brisk 30-minute walk or a workout at the gym. Movement is medicine. Regular exercise has countless benefits, from improving cardiovascular health to boosting mental clarity and even reducing the risk of chronic diseases. If you can, aim for at least 30 minutes of activity each day. Eat with intention. The foods you eat today will shape your body tomorrow. Nourish your body with whole, nutrient-dense foods, and your future self will thank you. Avoiding processed foods and focusing on vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and healthy fats can make a huge difference in your long-term health. It's not about being perfect. It's about making smarter choices consistently. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Sleep is often underestimated, yet it's one of the most vital components of good health. Adequate rest is essential for maintaining cognitive function, emotional health, and physical recovery. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night to ensure your body has the time it needs to repair and recharge. Regular checkups save lives. You don't need to wait for symptoms to appear before seeking medical attention. Regular checkups are crucial for catching potential problems early, even before they become noticeable. Preventative care, like screenings for heart disease, diabetes, and cancers, can make a massive difference in catching issues while they're still manageable. Your health is your foundation. Everything else in life, work, family, social life, depends on the foundation of good health. Protect it now so that you can enjoy life fully later. Small daily habits, like staying active, eating well, and maintaining regular medical checkups, compound over time to create a healthier, happier future. Conclusion: taking care of your health should never be an afterthought. It's easy to push it aside when we're young and busy, but the reality is that the consequences of neglecting our health often appear much later, when it's more challenging to undo the damage. By making small, intentional changes today, you can avoid the deep regret of looking back and wishing you had done things differently. Your future self will thank you for the healthy choices you make now. Take the time to treat your body with the care and respect it deserves. It's the only one you'll ever have. Regret 2. Not spending enough time with loved ones. Another painful regret that many seniors express is not making enough time for the people who truly matter in their lives. It's a sentiment that carries deep emotional weight, and often, it's a realization that comes far too late. In the busyness of life, relationships can sometimes take a backseat to career ambitions, obligations, and the demands of daily life. But when the years have passed and we find ourselves reflecting on our lives, the time we didn't spend with those we care about becomes one of the greatest sources of regret. Why does this happen? Life can be incredibly demanding. We all have careers, responsibilities, and endless to-do lists that consume much of our time and energy. In the midst of it all, it's easy to assume we'll always have more time to spend with loved ones later. We think there will be opportunities in the future to make up for the time we missed. This assumption, unfortunately, can lead us to take our relationships for granted. At times, conflicts, misunderstandings, or simple life stresses create distance between us and those we love. This distance, once formed, can be difficult to bridge, and it often lasts longer than it should. We might find ourselves spending weeks, months, or even years without speaking to a family member or friend. And in those moments, we don't fully realize the cost of that distance until much later. The pain of missed moments. I once spoke with an elderly woman who shared a deeply moving story. She said, "I spent years working late nights, thinking I was building a better future for my family. But now my kids are grown and I miss so much. I can't get that time back." Her voice trembled with regret, and I could feel the weight of her words. She had sacrificed precious moments with her children, thinking that work would pave the way for a better future. But in the process, she had missed out on the moments that truly mattered. Time, as she had learned, is something we never get back. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and focus on what we think is important at the time. However, when we look back, we often realize that the most meaningful moments were the simple ones, those spent with the people we love, in quiet conversations, shared laughter, and the unspoken connection that comes from being present with one another. How to avoid this regret? The good news is that this regret is avoidable, but it requires intentionality and a shift in priorities. Here's how to ensure you don't look back and wish you had spent more time with those who matter most. Be present. In a world filled with distractions, It's easy to be physically present but mentally elsewhere. The key to deepening connections is being truly present with your loved ones. Put down your phone, turn off the television, and give your undivided attention to the people around you. Look them in the eye, listen deeply, and engage in meaningful conversations. Prioritize people over productivity. It's tempting to believe that we need to work harder and longer hours to build a successful life. But the truth is that work will always be there. The projects, deadlines, and tasks will never end. On the other hand, the time we have with our loved ones is finite. Choose to prioritize the people who matter over the pursuit of productivity. You'll never look back and regret spending more time with the people you love, but you might regret not doing so. Mend broken relationships. It's common for relationships to become strained due to misunderstandings, pride, or past hurts. But at the end of your life, you won't wish you had held onto grudges or let pride keep you from mending broken relationships. If there's someone you care about with whom you've lost touch, reach out. Repair the bonds that matter, because the time to do so is never guaranteed. Embrace the impermanence of time. Time is one of the few things in life that we cannot get back. As the years go by, it becomes increasingly clear that what we truly want in our later years is not more accomplishments or accolades, but the love and connection we've nurtured along the way. At the end of your life, you won't wish you had worked more, accumulated more wealth, or done more for your career. You'll wish you had loved more, spent more time with your family, and made more memories with the people who made your life truly meaningful. Conclusion. The regret of not spending enough time with loved ones is one that weighs heavily on many seniors, and it's a regret that can be avoided with conscious effort. While it's easy to get lost in the demands of life, it's essential to remember that the relationships we build are what truly matter in the end. Take the time now to be present, to prioritize the people who matter most, and to mend any broken relationships. In the end, it will be the love you've given and received that will define your life, not the work or accomplishments you've achieved. The time to build those meaningful connections is now. Don't wait until it's too late. Regret 3. Playing it too safe and not following dreams. Another common regret that many seniors experience is not taking more risks and not following their dreams. It's a regret that often comes with the realization that there was always something they wanted to do, something that could have brought them fulfillment, but they held back out of fear, uncertainty, or the belief that the right time would eventually come. But the right time often never arrives, and as the years pass, the dreams remain unfulfilled. This section delves into why this happens and how to avoid falling into the trap of living a life of what could have been. Why does this happen? There are many reasons why people, especially seniors, end up playing it too safe in life. The most common ones include fear of failure. The fear of failure is a powerful force. It can paralyze us and keep us from taking action, even when we know deep down that following our dreams would bring us joy and fulfillment. The thought of failing in front of others or even to ourselves can be enough to hold us back from even trying. Fear of judgment. Similarly, the fear of what others might think can prevent us from pursuing our passions. We might worry about being judged, criticized, or seen as foolish for taking risks later in life. This fear of judgment can keep us stuck in a safe, predictable routine, even if it means living a life that feels incomplete. Waiting for the perfect moment. Many people wait for the perfect time to act, the right circumstances, the right amount of money, the right support. But the truth is that the perfect moment rarely ever comes. There's always an excuse, a reason to wait just a little longer. The perfect time is a myth. Life is unpredictable, and opportunities often come when we take action, not when we wait for everything to align perfectly. The pain of what could have been. One of the most poignant conversations I had was with a man in his 80s who shared a regret that weighed heavily on him. He said, "I always wanted to start my own business, but I kept waiting until the time was right. That time never came. Now I wonder what could have been." His words were full of sorrow and longing. He had spent so many years waiting for the perfect conditions, only to find that those conditions never arrived. The dreams he had, the potential he saw for himself remained just that, dreams. Now, at the twilight of his life, he was left wondering what might have happened if he had taken the leap when he was younger, or even when he had the chance later in life. The pain of what could have been is one of the heaviest burdens anyone can carry. It's not just about the missed opportunity. It's about the feeling that you didn't live life to its fullest, that you didn't take chances, and that you let fear dictate your choices. How to avoid this regret? The good news is that this regret can be avoided, but it requires a mindset shift and a willingness to take risks, even if they feel daunting. Here's how you can avoid looking back and wishing you had taken more chances. Take calculated risks. Risk doesn't have to mean throwing caution to the wind. It can mean taking calculated, well-thought-out chances that are aligned with your goals and values. Fear will always be present when you try something new, but it's important to recognize that fear fades over time, while regret stays with you. The more risks you take, the easier it becomes to face the fear of failure. And when you look back, you will regret the chances you didn't take far more than the ones you did. Start small. One of the most common misconceptions about following your dreams is that you have to make a dramatic all-or-nothing decision. You don't need to quit your job or radically change your life in one fell swoop. You can start small. Begin by taking steps towards your passion, even if they are small ones. Start that side project, take that class, or set aside time each week to work on your goal. Progress may be slow at first, but it's still progress. Live with urgency. Time is not unlimited. As we grow older, we realize just how precious time is and how quickly it slips away. It's easy to think that there will always be a tomorrow to chase your dreams, but the truth is that tomorrow is never guaranteed. Don't wait until the perfect moment, because that moment may never come. Take action today, even if it's a small step, and build momentum. The biggest risk in life. Not taking any at all. The greatest risk you can take is to play it too safe. Staying in your comfort zone might feel secure, but it also means living a life of missed opportunities. The greatest adventures, the most fulfilling experiences, and the deepest satisfaction often come from stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing the unknown. It's not about being reckless. It's about being brave enough to pursue what matters most to you. Conclusion. Regret over not following dreams is something that many seniors face, but it doesn't have to be your reality. Life is full of opportunities, and it's never too late to start following your passion, taking risks, and pursuing the things that make you feel alive. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it may never come. Start today, take small steps, and remember that the biggest risk in life is not taking any at all. Your dreams are waiting for you. Don't let fear hold you back from living the life you truly want. Regret 4. Caring too much about what others think. One of the deepest regrets many seniors express is living their lives based on what others expect of them, rather than following their own desires and dreams. This regret carries a weight that often grows heavier with age, as they look back and realize how much of their life was shaped by the opinions of others instead of their own true aspirations. This section explores why this happens and how you can avoid falling into the trap of letting other people's judgments dictate your life. Why do people do this? Fear of judgment. The fear of being judged is a powerful motivator that often keeps us from making authentic choices. We worry about how others will perceive us if we act differently or make choices that don't align with societal expectations. This fear can be so strong that we suppress our own desires in favor of fitting in or being accepted by others. Pressure from family or society. Family and society often impose expectations on us, whether it's about career choices, relationships, or lifestyle. These pressures can create a sense of obligation to live up to what others envision for us, even if it doesn't align with our own true path. The weight of these expectations can be overwhelming, and it's easy to let them dictate your decisions, even if they don't bring you happiness. The need for approval. At the core of many of our decisions is the need for approval. We want to feel validated, seen, and appreciated by others, which often leads us to make choices that please others instead of ourselves. The desire for approval can be so ingrained in us that it becomes second nature to prioritize others' needs over our own well-being. The truth about people's opinions. The truth is that most people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. We tend to overestimate how much others focus on our actions, decisions, and appearance. In reality, people are often too busy with their own lives to scrutinize ours as closely as we might imagine. Furthermore, the people who judge you or make you feel inadequate won't be there at the end of your life. In the final years, when you look back, those who judged you won't be the ones you'll be concerned about. What will matter most is whether you lived a life true to yourself, or whether you lived according to someone else's standards. Another crucial realization is that no one else will live with your regrets, only you will. When you reach the end of your life, it's not the opinions of others that will matter. It's your own sense of fulfillment, peace, and authenticity. Living for others may seem like the right thing to do at the time, but in the end, it's you who will have to live with the choices you made, not the people who influenced them. How to avoid this regret? The good news is that you can avoid the regret of living for others by making intentional choices based on your own desires and happiness. Here's how. Make choices based on your own happiness. Start making decisions that are rooted in what truly brings you joy and fulfillment, not based on what others think you should do. Trust your instincts and follow your passions, even if they don't align with the expectations of those around you. Remember, your happiness is your responsibility, not anyone else's. Let go of people-pleasing. People-pleasing is a trap that many of us fall into, often without even realizing it. We say yes to things we don't want to do, or we compromise our own desires in order to make others happy. But constantly trying to please others at the expense of your own well-being leads to frustration, resentment, and regret. It's important to recognize when you're putting others' needs ahead of your own and make a conscious effort to say no when necessary. Ask yourself, if I were 90, what advice would I give my younger self? This is a powerful question to reflect on. Imagine yourself in your later years, looking back at your life. What would you wish you had done differently? Would you wish you had cared less about what others thought and more about what truly made you happy? This perspective can help you gain clarity and make decisions based on what's best for your future self. Live your life, not the one others expect of you. Ultimately, the most important lesson is to live your life as it is meant to be lived by you, not the life that others expect of you. Everyone has their own journey, and your journey is uniquely yours. Don't let fear of judgment or societal pressure prevent you from embracing your true self and living authentically. The more you live according to your own values and desires, the more you'll find peace and fulfillment in the years to come. Conclusion. Caring too much about what others think is one of the most common regrets that seniors express, but it's also one of the most avoidable. By letting go of the need for approval and making decisions that are aligned with your own happiness, you can live a life free from the burden of others' expectations. The only opinion that matters in the end is your own. So, start living for yourself today, and don't let the fear of judgment or societal pressure keep you from being who you truly are. Your life is yours to live, and it's time to embrace that freedom fully. Life is a collection of moments and choices, and it's never too late to make the changes that will bring you peace and fulfillment. Whether it's prioritizing your health, nurturing meaningful relationships, following your dreams, or living authentically, the key is to start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It may never come. Take the small steps today that will lead you to a life without regrets tomorrow. Remember, the power to shape your future lies in the choices you make today. Make them count. Until next time, live fully, love deeply, and regret nothing. Don't keep this inspiration to yourself. Subscribe now and share the video with those who need a reminder to live their best life today.